Good morning to all the listeners. Bezrat Hashem, Erev Shabbat Kodesh. As we come closer to Rosh Hashanah, so let's speak a little bit about what should we use. We need merits, right? A person needs. You're going to stand before the King of Kings, Melech Malachim Melachim, and there's no bribing Hashem. There's no playing games. He knows exactly what our intentions are, where our heart is holding. So, what is the biggest merit? What is the greatest merit that's going to be able to give us a favorable judgment on Rosh Hashanah? So, let's learn together this Gemara. There's a Gemara that says the following. It says, what does that mean in the blessings at the end of the Torah? Parashat Vezot HaBeracha. Moshe Rabbeinu blesses all the tribes. So it says, Yechi Reuven ve'al Yemot. Reuven should live and not die. What does that mean? What does that mean, live and not die? If you live, of course you're not going to die. The Gemara means like this. You should live in this world and not die in the world to come, in the future. And right away it says, Vezot le Yehuda. And this should be done unto Yehuda as well. First of all, you're skipping Levi. Levi comes after Yehuda, even though in the chronological order, Levi came before Yehuda. That's what you see in Parshat Vayechi. When Yaakov Avinu blesses the tribes, his children, he blesses Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda. But over here, in the blessings of Moshe Rabbeinu and Vezot HaBeracha, Reuven is first, and right away is Yehuda. And also it says Vezot, and this to Yehuda. What does that mean, and this? Says the Gemara, a scary thing. Kol otan shanim, all those years Shayu Yisrael b'midbar, that the Bnei Yisrael were traveling through the desert for 40 years. Hayu atzmotav shel Yehuda megulgalin ba'aron. The bones of Yehuda, right, were rolled up in the coffin. They were not his bones were not complete. Ad she'amad Moshe, until Moshe Rabbeinu stood uvikesh alav rachamim, and he asked for mercy. Meaning like this. We know this is known even recently, that when people are tzaddikim, that their body does not rot after they pass away, and meaning the whole bone structure remains. It's whole. It's complete. But anyways, it said it was actually a story in Corona. A good friend of mine. I'm not gonna mention his name. I did not ask for permission. Passed away in Corona. He passed away actually in my father's yortzeit, and I was very close to him. And he was really a tzaddik. He was a plumber. He lived in Monsey, and because they did not permit anyone to be buried outside of the United States. There was no flights in Corona. They buried him in Monsey. 3 years later, approximately, his wife arranged to have his body transferred and buried in Eretz Israel. That's what he always wanted, and that's what she actually ended up doing. And from what I understood, the Chevra Kadisha, the burial society, they called her. They asked her, "Who was your husband?" Your husband was a big tzaddik. He was someone big. He was a big rabbi. She said, "No, he was a tzaddik, but he was a plumber. He worked for a living." They said that when they transferred his body, they felt by the weight of the body or of the casket that his body did not rot. It seems to be that when your body rots, all that remains is the bones. It's much lighter. But this guy was a special person, special person. His body did not rot. There's many stories like that about tzaddikim in Eretz Yisrael in many years, even that whether they were moved or whatever it is, their bodies are still complete. The reason is, it says ekev atzamot kin'ah. The rot of bones, it comes out of jealousy, and a person that works on themselves, especially on jealousy and being content and happy with what they have, then they are sure that after 120 years, when they're in the ground, their body's not going to rot. Anyways, it's an aside. So you see, regular people, their bones did not rot. Over here, we're talking about one of the tribes. How do we even understand such a thing? that the bones of Yehuda were all rolled up in the coffin until Moshe Rabbeinu stood and begged Hashem to forgive Yehuda. In what merit? So it says like this. It says that's the reason, the story of Reuven, the forgiveness of Reuven, and then you're saying Vezot Yehuda, and this unto Yehuda as well. You forgave Reuven, Hashem, you should forgive Yehuda as well. Why? Why? Because who's the one that made Reuven admit that he moved his father's bed from the tent of Rachel to the tent of Leah after Rachel passed away? Rachel Imenu, she passed away. Reuven, who was the son of Leah, says it's not proper that my father's bed should be in the tent of Bilhah, the servant of Rachel, the one that was given over by Lavan. It's more proper that his bed should be in the tent of Leah, my mother. So he moved the bed of Yaakov to the tent of Leah. And because of that, nobody knew. And there was, a person's bedroom that's an aside. It needs to be the holiest of holies. It's not so simple today. Our kids walk through our bedrooms like it's regular, like the living room. Anyways, so Reuven did not admit that it was him who moved the bed of Yaakov from the tent of Rachel to the tent of Leah until Yehuda admitted. Yehuda admitted and said, "I'm the one who." When it says when Tamar, his wife, not his wife, his daughter-in-law, she said, "I'm pregnant," and they came to him and they said, "Your daughter-in-law is pregnant. She just got her two husbands died, and she was waiting. She was still connected to Shelah, the third son, and she needed to wait for him to get married to him. Anyways, and they said that she's pregnant. He did not know that the babies were from him. It was twins. Peretz and Zerach were from him. Anyways, so it says that he said Tzadkami many. He admitted that the babies were his, and he saved Tamar from being burnt with her two children. In doing so, when he said Tzadkami many, I am the one, it's my children, I'm taking responsibility, he saved Tamar and Peretz and Zerach, the twins. Now, these are actually also the forefathers of the Davidic dynasty and the grandparents of Mashiach that he saved. And it says, the Gemara here says, still, that wasn't the biggest merit that Moshe Rabbeinu used to take him out of this cherem of being ostracized in the world to come, that his bones were rolled up in the coffin. What did Moshe Rabbeinu say? He made Reuven. When Yehuda said that Kamimeni, Reuven said, I'm the one that moved my father's bed from the tent, one tent to the other. When he said that, that's the merit that Moshe Rabbeinu used to take Yehuda out of the status of being ostracized that he himself put himself into. When he said, when he promised to return Benjamin to Yaakov. Anyways, you see that the merit of helping someone else, helping his brother admit, was greater than anything that could be done over here. Even saving the Davidic dynasty, even saving the grandparents of Mashiach, nothing greater was than his fact that he helped his brother out. You see from here that, God willing, we're going to stand in judgment on Rosh Hashanah. The greatest merit that we have is to help someone else, greater than even saving lives, physical lives, is to help someone's neshama, help someone's spirituality, to help someone grow and connect, and to look out for someone else. Bezrat Hashem, I want to give everyone a blessing for Ktiva v'chatima tova. We should take this advice to heart, be always to help and look out for someone else, and in that merit, we should all be zocheh. We should merit to have a Ktiva v'chatima